Hey guys, welcome to Honest Trailers Commentary, the show where we talk about the show, where we talk about the other shows and movies and television. I am Spencer J. Gilbert, the head writer of Honest Trailers. To my, well, it's weird with the monitor. I guess this is my left is Dan Merle, and to my right is Joe Starr.
Hello.
Hi.
Guys, you may notice someone's missing. Andy Signor, if you're curious about where he is, you can watch a different video on ScreenJunkies, what happened and what's next, or just Google.
Yeah.
Needless to say, he will have nothing to do with Honest Trailers going forward. He gets no royalties. He has nothing to do with it from here on out. But we do, so we're going to keep talking about it.
We're here. We're going to keep talking about these things.
Yeah. And then, I guess full disclosure is we had written and kind of were ready to release this one before all the things happened. So it's
when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, when the Fire Nation attacked. This is actually like... I haven't really thought about this or looked at this one in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, this one was on the back burner for 3 weeks while we were figuring out other things that, due respect to fans of the film Spider-Man: Homecoming, were a few rungs up the ladder
for us.
As far as things we needed to figure out. So yeah, this is the product of. We came back and I think polished it off a little bit and kind of blew the dust off of it and took another
gave it a buff
in the light of day. But yeah, this is this could have come out a few weeks ago, and it did not.
It would have come out a few weeks ago. It didn't. Looking back on Spider-Man: Homecoming, I think it was super enjoyable. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a fun movie.
It was a fun movie, and I don't know. Not really worth picking apart, but here we are.
That is what the Lord has called us to do.
Yes.
It's a fun movie. I am increasingly getting to the point where with Marvel movies, I walk out of the theater and I go, "Yay, next!"
Yeah, to me, they're like an episode of a long-running TV show that I like.
Yeah.
So it's like another good installment of Marvel the series.
Hooray!
And I feel like this was right in line with that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
better than Guardians 2 for me. Guardians 2, I walked out and was like, that was fine. I don't remember anything about it. And this one stuck with me a little better. Michael Keaton was great. And
yeah, Michael Keaton. I'm glad they had it was a wrong. I don't know. The Vulture. The Vulture in the suit was the exact same masked, suited villain that Marvel has always had. However, Vulture out of the suit, as we point out in this trailer, that was where the greatness of that villain was.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Dafoe's Green Goblin, where you're like, wow, Willem Dafoe's way scarier than that mask.
Yes. Yeah. What is this weird toy chasing Tobey Maguire? It's not intimidating at all.
Totally. So I guess we have, if you guys stick around until after we watch the trailer and talk about it, there's some deleted scenes.
Deleted scenes, yeah.
Some alternate names and stuff.
Alternate names. We'll stop and chat up some parts of the trailer as we go, I'm sure. But we're back.
We're back, baby. We're back, so roll it. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Video starts now.
Careful, viewer. My spoiler sense is tingling.
I mean, by now, who cares?
Yeah, but you got to do it.
Since 2002, we've had 6 movies, 2 reboots, and 3 Spider-Men. Now, just when audiences might be getting a little sick of the franchise, Marvel swoops in to deliver a crowd-pleasing comedy that's gonna keep Spider-Man in theaters until the f***ing sun burns out of the sky. Spider-Man: Homecoming.
So this was a rejuvenation for I was done with Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
After Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was like, okay, I'm done.
Oh, and they were talking about the Sinister Six movie, and I'm sorry, I love Tom Hardy, but even the Venom movie, I'm not thrilled by the prospect of. But but when he showed up in Civil War, like, all right,
okay,
I'll give him another shot.
It's a good Spider-Man.
And they delivered.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like that you pointed out that it's a comedy, because I think this is what gives this movie a little bit of an edge over a lot of other Marvel movies, is that it felt like something other than a Marvel movie, and it felt like a good, like, classic,
it's a high school movie.
Yeah, a high school comedy movie, and it gives it a different vibe.
A high school movie starring people that looked like they could conceivably be in high school, and not 30-year-old James Franco.
We're about to take I don't think, completely undeserved shot at the fact that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, like, they don't get carded. Like, they don't.
Yeah. No, they don't.
Anyways, let's keep going.
They got held back a couple years.
Tobey Maguire couldn't keep it up. Andrew Garfield couldn't get it started. But Tom Holland hits the ground swinging in a great reboot that just assumes you're all caught up on the MCU.
Pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now, but whatever.
Complete with a glossed-over origin story, an actor who doesn't have premature old face, and a villain who doesn't already have some forced personal connection to Peter Parker.
I'm Liz's dad.
All right, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Always.
Pause right there.
Pause.
Yeah, that's the Spider-Man hallmark. Is all of the villains are in some way, shape, or form related to closely Peter Parker. Or someone he loves.
Nobody else gets superpowers. It's never just like
It's everybody in the
Steve,
family.
over from Capital City. No, it's always Peter Parker's second cousin, twice removed, who happened to run into him on the street.
Someone's
Except for was the Sandman?
No, remember the Sandman killed Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Remember?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
in
did.
the
In
movie.
Spider-Man 3, the Sandman was the robber that killed Uncle Ben.
But didn't someone kill his daughter too?
He was a lovable robber.
He was just paying the killing forward.
It was an accident.
Okay.
Yeah, he was trying to take care of his daughter. That's why he did it all.
He's trying to take care of his daughter. Then he wandered into a sand nuke testing
A
site.
radioactive sand nuke testing site.
As
He
you
fell
do.
into a sand pit.
do.
We all
as
deal with
happens.
grief in different ways.
Yeah, he accidentally killed
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. I think he was the partner of the guy that you saw. It was one of those retcons where it's like, it wasn't that guy.
Right.
It was the other guy.
Yeah,
okay.
He felt really bad about it. Caused Tobey Maguire to cry.
Yeah.
Again.
And then he was like, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?" And ran away to be in the sand.
Peter
Yeah.
Parker should just prematurely imprison everyone he's ever known.
I agree.
Okay.
It would solve a lot of problems. Also, that's my second favorite joke in this trailer. The hard cut to Michael Keaton going, "I'm Liz's dad."
Wah, wah.
Well done, Kevin.
Yeah. Also, not a knock on Tobey Maguire's appearance, just on the knock that he had a prematurely old face for someone who's supposed to be playing an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, as did
As
Kirsten
did
Dunst.
everyone.
Yeah, as did everyone. And James Franco, they're all grown.
They're all very much not 18 years old.
Yeah.
Or that weird kid that's just shaving twice a day.
Yeah. They were all the oldest looking kid in their class.
Yeah. A lot of whole milk there
In Queens.
in Queens.
Roll it,
Okay,
JT.
keep it going.
Brand new take on Spider-Man. He's a millennial now who
boy.
can't stay off his phone.
What is the current standard unit
I
of
take this real
radioactive?
quick? I'll only be a sec. Fine.
Constantly vlogs, watches himself on YouTube, and has zero
I mean, we all
patience
do
for
that.
anything.
Hey, how long we been here anyways?
37 minutes. What?
He's got all of the usual spider skills, plus a powerful new one. Never facing consequences for his actions, whether he's getting away with ditching detention,
Hey, where you going? Get back here.
quitting on his team,
You can't just quit on us, stroll up, and be welcome back.
Hey, welcome back, Peter.
falsely imprisoning people,
Shouldn't steal cars, it's bad. It's my car, dumbass!
wrecking a car, wrecking a store, wrecking a ferry, or wrecking his girlfriend's entire life.
Whatever's going on with you, I hope you figure it out.
You can be sure this web slinger will get off with no more than a stern talking to.
You're a good kid and you're a smart kid, so just try to keep your head straight, okay?
Okay.
All right, get out of here.
Wow, they'll already get why I relate to J. Jonah Jameson.
He's a menace to the entire city. I want that wall-crawling arachnid prosecuted.
You've seen him
Yeah, I
in
mean,
Batman.
yeah,
pause.
getting old.
Does he get a pass because he's a teenager figuring it out?
It is ironic that in a superhero whose core founding principle is responsibility.
Very little responsibility.
Yeah.
He seems to acknowledge that he has some responsibility, but doesn't necessarily share the burden of that responsibility.
This is sort of the one spot where the movie falls off because, overall, with the plot between him and Tony, I feel like they tried to make that arc about him becoming more responsible, but at no point other than doing his beat up Michael Keaton thing does he become responsible.
Well, also,
Well, he still crashes a plane into a huge beach full
Into
of people.
Coney Island,
And,
yeah.
so even in the midst of learning responsibility, there are grossly irresponsible acts.
and it does track that Tony would be the person to influence him in that way because Tony Stark, international arms dealer, no responsibility,
That's true, no
threatened the world multiple times by his own hand and is still just allowed to run the government.
Spider-Man is basically a James Spader voice away from being Ultron in this movie. It's just massive collateral damage. No real concept of what he's doing. Very lucky.
His only leash is Happy Hogan, who's already got his hands full.
And doesn't even want to
and
deal with
ignores
him.
him.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think what this movie really needed was like, he doesn't get to go back to the debate team. Just like small things like that. Like at the end of this movie, his life should be kind of blown up and he should have to deal with it because he's Spider-Man. But
Yeah.
But then again, we all were also very tired of the kind of angsty, guilt-ridden Spider-Man.
This is true.
It's you know, what do we want?
So
Who
instead,
are we?
they have him have to lift something heavy as his like emotional low
I love
point.
that scene. I'll fight for that scene. I love that scene. I thought that was a great way to build his character without having to be very.
But what was it saying about his character? Like now he can lift things.
It was saying
he won't give up.
It
He
was
won't
saying,
give up.
No, it was saying that he had looked externally for validation. It was
a metaphorical lift.
It was a metaphorical lift. It's saying that you can't rely on other people or a crutch to be a hero. It's like you have to be the hero and find it within yourself. I like that scene. I'll fight for that scene.
It's from the books.
I know it's from the books, but
That means it's great.
what? We'll get into it. Let's keep playing, Joe.
You've seen him as Batman and Birdman. Now, prepare for Michael Keaton's third winged creature role as the Vulture. He's a blue-collar guy who gets shafted by Stark Industries. And instead of filing a lawsuit against a billionaire clearly in the wrong, he'll build a giant bird mech jetpack? You'll be bored stiff when Vulture fights Spider-Man in bland CGI slugfests, but genuinely scared when he's just being Michael Keaton.
Were you scared? I bet you were glad when your old pal Spider-Man showed up in the elevator, though.
Sorry, Uncle Ben and Richard Parker. There's a new absentee dad in town, Tony Stark. Iron Man is back as the drunk rich stepfather you'd expect him to be, who will build you a killer robot suit.
Pause. I love the touch when he's in India and drinking, and then it cuts back to Spider-Man talking to the drone, and the drone is just like sipping. Has a cup the whole time.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. It's just like his arm is randomly out. Then you realize, because Tony's holding a beverage.
I want to know what this meeting was about and if it went well.
How does this connect to Infinity War?
Yeah. Could that be is that the new Mandarin?
Is that the Mandarin? Yeah. Who is he meeting with?
Yeah.
Why?
Is there alcohol in that mango lassi?
Because there shouldn't be, Tony. You have a problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just wondering.
Okay. Who'll build you a killer robot suit.
Activating instant kill.
Send you into battle at 15. Then literally phone in his parenting until you screw up enough to get his attention.
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
Really, Tony? You just fought your best friend over keeping tabs on superheroes, and you just let your pet superhero run amok. Is anyone paying attention to the timeline anymore? This is approaching X-Men levels of sloppy.
So she sends Bishop back in time.
No, just his consciousness into his younger self.
Wow.
All right, pause. Well, I mean, there's the continuity issue, which is that actually I didn't think about that till we were doing this. Was like, yeah, Civil War was all about Tony like literally ripping the Avengers apart for this idea of superhero registration and oversight of which Spider-Man apparently has none with his.
Except for Tony, which that's
but Tony
also
shouldn't
screwed
be
up.
condoning that. So that I was like, that was strange. It seemed like they just kind of discarded that part, but we didn't mention the continuity of years, which this movie also appears to have gotten wrong because someone had constructed a timeline that this movie then.
I always just assumed that it was roughly like the years that the movies came out, like they were all just supposed to be current day. But then if you look at, I think it's Guardians, like they actually name a date, so then you can kind of reverse engineer the dates from that, and this takes place like 8 years after the Avengers or I mean Civil War or something like that.
Yeah, it was like the Avengers had set a certain date, and this movie said it was 8 years after that date, which would have put it like 3 years from now. However, Civil War had occurred at a certain date, so like none of the apparently just I think this was Sony's touch. I think Marvel was like, we will let you determine the number of years that have occurred, and they were like 8, and they messed it up.
This was
on one job, and so yeah. Again, this was I don't know. This is a weird movie in that it's this very weird discontinuity between like it's part of the MCU, but it's.
I will say it doesn't bother me because like I don't know. As a comics fan, we've been having to deal with like Marvel's weird sliding scale timeline since the '60s, where like. Peter was in high school and now he's like a young entrepreneur, but he, like,
it just seems like an unforced error. Like at some point, someone should have gotten a slide rule out. I mean, Kevin Feige, I'm sure, has these dates tattooed on the inside of his eyelid. You think that he would have said,
he has he has a bunch of memento tattoos of the phases. Yeah,
exactly.
Right, like I don't care about the X-Men timeline if it gives us good stories and good movies. I just feel like because it was so unimportant to the story that's being told, why not just get the date right?
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Seems strange.
Very sloppy.
But we didn't want to go into the whole thing about the timeline.
Because some of it's up for debate.
Some of it's up for debate. It's Pandora's box.
All right, let's keep watching.
Nerds.
So enjoy another Super Smash
He was
hit
good, too.
whose success was far from guaranteed, with 2 competing studios fighting for control, 6 different screenwriters, and a director with just 2 low-budget indies to his name.
Yeah, this movie should not have
Dang,
worked.
it's like Sony finally cracked the code on how to make the Spider-Verse happen. Let Marvel do the work.
Hey.
Starring Tom Netherlands, Drunkle Stark, Only Winners Do Drugs,
Because of the
Chef,
serum.
the disembodied voice of Jennifer Connelly,
You can call me Karen if you would like.
Marissa Tomei,
That's where she went after Hulk.
Vulture, or the unexpected virtue of casting Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Technically in the movie,
Yeah.
Tony Ravioli, Mary Pixie Jane Girl. Hey there, Martin Starr now.
Yeah.
Not your Asian sidekick. And Wonder Woman?
Invisible Plane.
The perks of being a wall crawler.
Great title,
Good
Joe.
Joe.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Not nearly as good as Hey Now, Martin
Oh,
Starr.
putting a set piece in an elevator shaft. Spider-Man can't catch a break with that.
Any excuse
so
to play
good.
that.
Yeah. Hey there, Martin Starr now.
That's
the
my
delivery, really. Is what
that's
I
what
love.
does it.
Hey there,
Bravo, Joe.
Martin Starr now.
Should we apologize to Martin Starr now for any?
Is that a bad thing?
I feel like there will be some honest trailer fans that are going to see him and go,
Hey now,
Martin Starr now. And I'm sure he doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Look, if I had been in elementary school when that movie came out, I would have gotten it too. So there would have been some kid that'd be like, "Hey, All-Star,
yeah, Joe Starr,
Star."
That's funny.
Nerds.
Yeah, to me it was just a shock, and then realizing, oh, of course this is the case. Like Martin Starr and Hannibal Buress are, I think of them as young people, and it just shows how old I am now. That like they're the lame adults now.
Yeah.
That was scary.
That's scary.
Yeah, that hurts. Was Martin Starr's character his character in Incredible Hulk that Ed Norton gives the pizza to?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
not his first
Yeah.
MC, and then Jennifer Connelly.
And he holds
too.
up that pizza
Yeah.
for so long. That's the one thing I remember about that movie.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah. It's like a 30-second shot of him just holding up a slice of pizza and smiling and nodding
Yeah.
to establish that he has pizza.
Because they've established that Peter Parker's high school principal is the, I'm assuming, grandson of the Howling Commando from which because they have the picture. So
And also,
it's like,
wasn't that Peter in
they say Iron Man 2. They say that it's Peter at the expo, the little kid that holds his hand up to get the
They shouldn't
retconned
say
and said
things
that's
like this
Peter Parker.
anymore.
But it's a trap. They're trapping
Yeah.
themselves into a timeline that they can't.
Yeah, you guys
live up
don't want
to.
this.
You don't do it, Marvel. Don't do that. It's an unforced error.
Keep it vague.
Keep it vague. It could have said some years later, or several years later.
Years later. That's
years
fine.
later,
Yeah.
many years later. No, it had to be very specific about exactly how many years. Later.
Should we do some deleted scenes and
Yeah.
outtakes?
Let's do it.
Let's check it out.
Starring Spider-Man 3, Happy Meal, Krabby Hogan,
He was
Aunt
crabby.
May, Marissa Aunt May, Miles Morales, Childish Cameo, not Dev Patel,
That's his Twitter handle.
Avenge of the Nerds,
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
King of Queens. Whoa, I had no idea Ultimate Comics Spider-Man 1 was a nod to Donald Glover's license plate.
Where's the joke?
Because it's
Facts.
the reverse of that. It's not a good joke. Yeah, I apologize.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Easy
literally
cut.
just got it. I thought you were just giving us some trivia until I actually listened to that in my head and was like, oh, wait. No. Okay.
No, Gwen Stacy falling down the elevator is better.
Yeah, I like that better.
It's a good.
I'm sure there'll be people saying like, it's an elevator shaft, it's a clock tower.
I guess we don't have the clip. I guess there was other stuff that maybe was in the script, but we talked about Mary Jane Zendaya.
She's eating bread and she's got a ponytail.
Yeah, I think we all had kind of different takes. I didn't mind it. You were very annoyed.
I wasn't annoyed on her character.
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
Right.
I was not a fan personally. Zendaya, I'm sure, is a lovely person. However, I was not a fan of the character that, I don't know, it was just like, it felt a little connish in the sense of just like, is this a person from the mythology? And we're like, yeah, it's Mary Jane. They're like, but is it? We're like, yeah, no, we know who it is. They're like, but what if it's not? We're like, no, we know who it is. And they just tease it out through the whole movie. And then he's like, I'm Mary Jane. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well,
but also,
not everyone was paying as much attention as you. Like, just take on its own terms. You just didn't like what she.
I just thought she was there to
roll her eyes,
read a book and roll her eyes at people.
See, I liked her a lot, and I hate the Mary Jane thing, just because that's not Mary. Like, the point of Mary Jane's character was she was like this like supermodel girl and completely out of Peter Parker's league, and she's like a whole different thing. You had a chance to just make a cool new character. Like, you don't need to slap a name on her.
And I know it's not Mary Jane, MJ, but it's the same thing. It's like, you know, you could
just let
commit
her
to it or don't.
Just let her be a cool new thing, man.
Okay. Yeah.
But I liked her.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, guys,
is that it?
It also didn't make me want to punch a wall. I will say that.
It didn't make you want to
punch a wall. It did not make, like, I was like, but it didn't make me rage out of the theater. Like, what have they done?
Yeah, I guess I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it until they were like, call me MJ. Wink. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's a little Robin-y.
Yeah,
It's closer to Robin than Khan. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Robin.
My first name's Robin. No, it's not. No one's first name is Robin. Go away.
Robin Wright. Robin Leach.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Okay. I stand corrected. His name was Robin. It was perfectly natural.
But overall,
you just named so many Robins.
Yeah. Good flick.
Good.
Yeah, enjoyable. It was like a high school comedy with a superhero movie bolted onto it, which I think is the Marvel model now, is to take other genres and just fill them with superheroes, which I feel like that gives them longevity. They can keep doing that till the sun burns out of the effing sky, as we said.
We do call Tony Revolori Tony Ravioli.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
So I'm sure he's very happy that we've now taken our nickname for him and put it in.
It's eternal now.
For all to see.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Tony.
You're welcome. So yeah, I guess we'll also be doing these until the sun burns out of the sky, which means that we'll be here next week for another one that we kind of started a while ago, but we'll get to, and we've been wanting to do for a while.
The delay on this one may be a little more conspicuous, but we will talk about that.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
And we'll hopefully see you guys then. Thanks for watching.